Hey, welcome to Life from Different Ends.
Where we dive into all things life, love, and everything in between. We're your hosts, Billie and Brooke, two sisters from the one vagina.
Yeah, I'm the younger sister who's still trying to figure it out, and Billy's the older sister who thinks she knows it all.
So what can you expect from us? Well, we promise not to argue too much.
Let's be real, we'll probably get sidetracked by constant rabbit holes we fall down.
But seriously, we want this podcast to be your go-to place for real, raw conversations that make you feel seen and heard. We'll dive into the tough stuff, but with a side of humor and love. So grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's do this. Navigating toxic relationships. Welcome to Life from Different Ends. We are super excited to be here. Obviously, we have no idea what we're doing, so just be kind, okay?
Bear with us.
Be really kind. I've got paper because we have some talking points, but also, so we stay on track. But each episode, we are going to answer 3 questions each, and they're going to be the same questions each episode, unless, I don't know, you guys
come up with questions.
We're all for that. So the first question that we're going to answer each episode is our biggest ick right now. So Brooke, go first.
Oh, I think my biggest ick is like men that have those tank tops, right? and they have no muscles and like skinny little noodle arms.
Right, okay. That's your biggest ick right now. Okay,
right,
my biggest ick right now is like victim mentality where everyone's just like so blamed, like it's everyone else's fault but their own. I'm really sick of hearing about that. I'm really over that. Like just take responsibility and move on. Question 2 is the weirdest thing that's happened to you lately.
Honestly, I haven't had anything. Oh, no, the chicken shit on me. That was the weirdest thing. And I was gagging so bad.
Yeah, that was last night.
That's the weirdest thing.
We have chickens and Brooke had one on her shoulder and it shat on her. She was like gagging so bad. Weirdest thing that happened to me lately is probably like this week I had a cyst burst on my ovary.
Oh.
And it's caused me like honestly so much pain. Felt like I was in labor. I was so done with it. I was so over it. But that's probably the weirdest thing that's happened to me this week. Next thing is a word you are loving right now.
Oh, Felicia. I've been playing games and I'm like, Felicia, come back.
Ooh, I don't know what word I'm loving right now.
Oh, no.
You answered so quickly too.
I know.
That was so good.
I know. Your water bottle. The delicious water.
Okay, I'm going to answer that question later, a word I'm loving right now. Probably come out throughout the podcast. All right, cool. So let's talk about toxic relationships. Toxic relationships don't have to be like romantic. They can be family related. I'm not sure what we're going to cover in today's episode. It's just going to flow and see where we go from there. So the first question we have to get us going before we dig down too many rabbit holes is, have you ever dated someone who was more like a poison pill than a partner in crime? What were some of the warning signs you ignored or shrugged off at first?
I would say yes, I did. It would be like the poison pill. It was like the manipulation that I was getting in my relationship, but then they would buy me gifts to like make up for that, and it was just like a constant pill that kept happening every day.
Is your love language gifts?
Yes.
Right. So then...
But I feel like it's a way to buy my love.
Yeah, but if that's your love language, then...
But I love to buy gifts for them.
But do you like receiving gifts too?
If it's not out of like... If it's like for birthdays or stuff like that, yes. But if it's for something that they've done wrong, no.
Right, okay. What was some of the... So were the warning signs that you shrugged off them giving you the gifts?
Yeah.
And the pill was the gift.
Yeah, the pill was the gift that I took, even though I knew it was a guilt gift.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm not going to go with somebody that I've dated. I'm going to go with a family relationship because I actually don't think I've ever dated someone that was like that, to be honest. But I definitely like when somebody gives you praise but then at the same time shuts you down. So they'll be like, oh, I'm so proud of how far you come, but you work so much.
You don't have enough time for...
Yeah, like you don't have enough time for your family, or it's just like this, they give you this positive, but then straight away hit it with a negative. So it like takes away that positive impact of
Mhm.
that thing. And then it's such a hidden poison pill because it feels like, and especially like if you're at a table full of people, it feels like they're being kind to you, like being kind to you and they're just giving you constructive feedback, but they're not. Like that then really like takes that, like you personally, and you can't be like, oh, that guy is a bad guy, because then everyone else is seeing them as a kind person because they're saying nice things.
Yeah.
There was a movie recently.
Is it the Blake Lively one?
No, it was like the movie where, and a cookbook. She was a fraud. Like she said she had cancer, but she didn't have cancer. And then so she said she had cancer, and then wrote an app, made an app, and then had a book and everything. Like made all this money off having cancer and curing cancer by eating like healthy foods. But she actually never had cancer.
I know what you're saying. I've heard about it. I've never watched it.
In that movie, everyone will know what movie I'm talking about. In that movie, there's a scene like where she goes back to her mum's house, and like her mum literally does this to her at the dinner table. And if you know what I'm talking about, that scene triggers you, right? So you're there with me. We know what we're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Is there more that you want to talk about on that?
I feel like because I've had 2 toxic relationships, very toxic.
So straight away, like, sorry, Brooke, I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're right.
Straight away, like, this is exactly the point of this podcast. Brooke and I have so many things in common, but we're sitting here right now, and I'm saying I haven't really experienced a toxic romantic relationship, and Brooke's there like, I've had 2 toxic relationships. So this is exactly why we are doing this podcast, because we are so different, and we want to shed light on different perspectives so we can just spread more kindness in the world.
Yeah, I feel like one of my relationships, like I was like 18, 19, like young, I would say. And I gained so much weight, and then that was like, he was like, you can't leave me, no one will want you, blah blah blah.
Ooh, okay, nice.
And then that was
not nice. Obviously not nice.
And then like you feel like, oh fuck, no one's going to want me because like I've gained all this weight and I look shit.
Right, so you feel like he was like a bit of a feeder in the terms of like he fed you up and got you fat.
Yes.
So then you had body confidence issues, so then you wouldn't go elsewhere.
Exactly.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, so
that is deep.
I think that one was like one of the top worst.
Yeah,
ones.
and poison pill. Like, oh, here, I made this meal for you. Here's this beautiful, delicious meal. And
or here's this fast food, like shit like that. And yeah, it just was like he was like a feeder.
A feeder, yeah. But then that lowered your self-esteem and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. That's a great one, actually. Can you think back to a time when someone made you feel like you're walking around with a big old target on your back? What happened and how did you deal with it?
I would say yes. It wasn't a partner, but it was their mother.
Yeah.
And living in the house with her partner, and like, you constantly were walking around like a fucking target.
And like so you were the target? So
yes.
Yeah.
Anything that wasn't done, I was the target.
Right.
If I ever said anything to anyone, it always went back to them, and you constantly walking around like, are they going to yell at me? Like, are they going to say anything? Like, you're a target.
Yeah.
That's how I would feel. Like, that's...
Like, how did you deal with it, though?
I straight up said to my partner after there was a big blow up with me and his brother, and stuff happened between me and his brother, got into a fight, and then my partner at the time was sticking up for me, and then the brother went and called the mum, and I said to my partner, I was like, I don't want to be here. Can you please book me like an apartment?
Right.
And I stayed there, and then we ended up moving completely out of that household into a different town.
Right. So you like completely moved out.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I never went back to the house. I didn't even pack my own shit up. He did that.
I don't even I'm thinking about the question as I'm listening to you. I don't know if can you think back to a time when someone made you feel like you're walking around with a target? Not really, but I think that's just because I don't ever see myself that way. Like if I am in the spotlight a lot and I don't care what people think of me. So I'm not passive. Like if someone says something to me, I just say something straight back. I don't hold on to it. I don't carry it with me. I just deal with it then and there. I'm very like upfront, in your face. If you say something to me and I walk away and then I feel like, oh, I didn't like what you said to me, I'll literally call you up and be like, hey, that doesn't sit well with me. We need to sort this out. Or I just like completely cut you out too, which is not the best way to deal with someone. But I haven't done that in a long time, but also known for that. What's the most ridiculous, over the top thing someone has ever said to try to control, manipulate you in a relationship? Did it work, or were you onto their tactics from the get-go?
Mine would have to be like my partner saying that he's going to take the dogs, my 2 dachshunds.
Right, so let's give some backstory here. So you are in a relationship.
So I was in a relationship for 4 years. On my 21st birthday, I wanted a dog, and we bought our first dachshund.
So okay, let's just get some confirmation. On your 21st birthday, you guys bought together. He bought for you.
I paid some. He paid majority of it.
Right. But was it like a gift, or
It was
it
a
like
gift.
Okay, right. So it was your dog.
It was my 21st birthday present
from him.
Right. And we picked him up pretty much April.
Right. And your birthday for everyone
is March. So, yeah. Okay, very. And then when we got our second dog, that was my Christmas present the next year.
Right. So he essentially gifts you 2 dogs.
Yes. But he will never admit this.
What does he say happened?
He says that he bought the dogs because he doesn't even fucking want the dogs.
Okay, that's not my question. My question is, what does he say happened? Like, what's his understanding? So he bought the dogs, they're his dogs. They're not gifted to you.
Yeah, he just says they're not gifts. He's always said that.
So he just bought the dogs for himself. They weren't as a couple thing. They weren't gifts, nothing. They're just his dogs, essentially. Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move on.
And then I feel like if we ever got into like a fight or anything, he'd be like, get the fuck out. I'm taking the dogs. You're never going to see them again. Rah, rah, rah.
Right. So if you like stood up for yourself in an argument, he'd essentially like break it off with you, and then also be like, you need to leave, but I'm keeping the dogs.
Yeah, threaten to break it off, or leave, I'm keeping the dogs, you can go get fucked, fuck off.
Right, okay. Sorry, I forgot the question. That's a great answer to it. So obviously that's the manipulation part. It says, did it work, or were you on... So did it work?
Oh, 100% every fucking time.
So what happened then?
I stayed.
So you stayed. So every time he manipulated you with these dogs, you just stayed there.
Yep.
How long did you stay? How long did he use this manipulation?
I'm going to say for the last 2.5 years of the relationship.
Right, so like 2.5 years he manipulated you with this.
Still did after we broke up too.
But you put up with it for 2.5 years. Wow.
And then when we broke up, he still manipulated it with the dogs.
And did you realize you were being manipulated from the start, or were you just like...
I didn't when I was in a relationship, but when I got out, I was like, holy fuck. And people started actually like, that's manipulation. And like bringing it to light into my actual head. I'm like, shit, holy fuck, he is manipulating me. Like, the dogs are a little treat and you're running towards it. And like, and now it's like, you finally realize when someone says something to you and you don't realize it's actually happening until like someone's directly saying it to you and you have a light bulb moment.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And it like breaks the mirror and you see straight through it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't have a romantic one. That's a really hard one to follow as well. Like, not that we want to compare or anything, but again, different. Like, I don't have that. I do have it in a time that is actually, it's pretty bad. So when I was 13, my mum's boyfriend at the time tried to sexually touch me. I don't know what you want to call it. So maybe trigger warning. If you don't want to listen, stop now. But basically, I'm not going to go into the details of that. But after that happened, he would always like straight away, he was like to me, if you tell your mum you're going to make her unhappy, you guys will move out. Like he basically like held all of his stuff over me, telling me like, or like manipulating me to be like, not tell my mum about the situation. And I didn't tell my mum for like, I don't know how long it was. Felt like forever. Felt like a real long time, like maybe a year or something, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was like 3 months or 6 months or something like that. And it did work. Like, I felt like if I told my mum, she would be unhappy. And to tell you the truth, when I did tell my mum, she was unhappy. Like, she really was. But also she was angry at him. Like, it wasn't just, she wasn't unhappy at me. It just made her unhappy because like I think that had put me through that. And I did realize I was being manipulated at the time, even though I was just 13, but I still felt like the weight of everything on me from trying to make the decision. It was hard.
Yeah, and like knowing that you never want your parents to ever be unhappy. Like you always want them to be happy.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people that have either been assaulted or attempted to like get assaulted by someone, it is something like it could be a family, cousin, family, whatever. They always use that. Don't tell anyone. No one's going to believe you, or you're going to ruin the family, or you're going to cause all this drama. But like if it's actually happening, you need to speak up and make people aware of. It could be close family, friends, or anything like that. Just making it aware and in the actual universe so someone can help you with that and be like, all right, this is not normal.
Yeah, well, actually, when I did tell an adult, it wasn't my mum. I told someone else, and then it got back to my mum that way because I couldn't bring myself to make her that unhappy. So that is how it came out. Also, I just want to take this opportunity really quickly to promote a book. We are not affiliated with it, but there's a book called Operation Kid Safe. It's written by a Western Australian ex-detective, and it's a great book to help you understand child abuse and how to talk to your children about that. So if you have kids and you're listening, it's a great book, highly recommend, called Operation Kid Safe. All right, question, don't know, but have you ever stayed in a bad situation because you thought being alone was worse than being with that person?
100% yes. 100%. I hate being alone. I hated it. I should say hated. I fucking hate it. Yeah, I have. I think, yeah, a lot of times. I lived with my ex-boyfriend for a year after breaking up.
Yeah, that's true. Do you reckon you lived there because you felt
I
like you
didn't want to be alone.
Oh my god. Okay, right.
I didn't want to be alone, at all. And I was it was fucked. It was the most fucked situation. And I wasn't alone though, but I fucking stayed with my ex-boyfriend for a year.
Yeah. That's rough, eh? And now, so now you don't live with him and you live in a caravan at the back of my house.
Yes.
Do you feel alone now?
Nah, I fucking love my alone time. Like, fuck off, bitches.
Do you think you don't feel alone because you have your family so close?
Yeah. Before it was like 4 hours, 8 hours or more away from me.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Again, I don't
fucking
know.
nothing.
It's hard for me because actually there was a time I felt really, really alone. So our mum moved to Indonesia when I was 16. And at the time we lived in a small country town in central Queensland called Blackwater. Shout out Blackwater!
Don't shout out Blackwater!
Yeah, I love Blackwater.
Oh my god.
So I lived in Blackwater, and at the time, so yeah, my mum moved to Indonesia. Brooke's mum, same vagina. Moved to Indonesia. Brooke lived with her dad, and I didn't. My dad lived in 9 hours away.
We do have separate dads.
So we had separate dads. So I was living essentially on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I did move in with my boyfriend, but then I went to Indonesia with my mum when she got married, and when I was over there, he called me and he was like, "Hey, I don't want to be with you." I was like, "What? What? Like, I live with you. Where am I going to live?"
Sounds like every relationship I've ever been in.
So I was like, wow, okay. And we'd been together 2 years. So since I was 14, basically. So I'm 16. My mum's moved overseas. And I was like, oh my God. So, and then he tells me, I was like, can you still pick me up from the airport? Because the airport was 2 hours away from where we lived. So I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to get home, basically, to a home now that I was like, I don't know. And he tells me on the phone, I'm in Bali. He is in Blackwater. And he tells me, I've moved, there's 3 bedrooms in the house. We were sharing with another couple. So there's one couple in one room. I've moved my stuff into the other room. So I'm in one room, you're in one room. I was like, can you still pick me up from the airport? He was like, yes, but I don't want to talk about the breakup on the drive home. I was like, okay. So literally, it was the most awkward 2-hour car ride of my life, just sitting there. And it was more like 3 hours because he drove like this 84 Land Cruiser that I think could only go 80 kilometers an hour. So it was like so
Been there.
long. It was so, yeah. Anyway, so we get back. All of a sudden, like, I've gone from living in a family home with my mum's boyfriend, my brother and sister, my boyfriend. Like, we all lived in this one home. Now I'm living in a share house in a bedroom on my own. My mum is in Bali. My mum's boyfriend is over there. My stepdad that I knew doesn't want to have anything to do with me. My dad lives 9 hours away. My ex-boyfriend, is now in the other room. Like, I was alone, like, literally went from having everyone to no one within like 2 weeks.
You weren't allowed to see me.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to see my brother and sister. Like, it was, and they would just lived around the corner. It was horrible. Like,
Literally.
I felt so alone. Like, no, there was no one. And people will say, like, a lot of my mum's friends actually were really great. Like, they kept reaching out to me, making sure I was okay, offering me to come and live with them. But I just felt like a burden. Like, I didn't want to go and live with anyone. I didn't want to put that pressure or stress on anybody else. But it was really hard. Like, I went from having a family to having nothing, essentially, and I was just like, I didn't know what to do with my time. I just filled it with work and school, and that's pretty much what I did. And now, if you look at my life over the last kind of all of my adult life, I filled my entire adult life with work because that's all I knew. And don't get me wrong, it's paid off. It's really paid off. Not complaining, and I'm figuring all that out now. But it's amazing, like, just from that being alone straight away, then turned into like a lifetime of trauma, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, there was lots of different things that happened.
I feel like my being alone is, starting a business and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Just like you had time to actually grow and learn about yourself too more. It's okay to be alone, guys.
Yeah, it is okay to be alone. And like now, like as an adult, and I have a child, and I'm like living with my family, it's confronting sometimes because I actually want alone time and there isn't alone time. Like, I'm in the shower this morning and Bella is in the bathroom with a sketch pad writing down colors to paint stuff. Like, girl, I'm in the shower. Like, can you find another time, please? But yeah, so there is that part of it too. Before we dive back in, I want to give a quick shout out to our amazing sponsor, Boundless Business Services, for helping us bring this podcast to life. From the editing to the socials, those guys have really made this a fun experience and taken the hard work out of it. They're passionate about spreading kindness and love just like us. Check them out at boundlessbs.com. Do you have a tale of triumph where you stood up for yourself, broke out of a toxic pattern, and found happiness on the other side?
Yeah, so I'll give you like a little bit of backstory. Obviously, you guys know I was living with my ex. He was working, I was working. Towards like the end of the year, he decided to quit his job. His younger brother was living there with us to like help him with work. And he quit his job. So, I was working ridiculous hours, paying rent, internet,
Like paying all the bills.
yeah, food, grocery, anything like that. And then I went to my sister's house for Christmas, and they offered me a place, and I was like, you know what, I'm actually gonna fucking do this. Like,
no, that's not what happened. To be quite honest, as a joke, I said I'll put a tent in the front yard. Like, that was a joke. And then she was like, yeah, okay. I was like, I was joking. Like, I don't want you living in a tent. Like, my house isn't big. Like, I don't want you to come live in a tent in my front yard.
I was about to
But she
fucking
was,
live.
and I could see, I was like, okay, wow, like, she really is in such a bad situation that she would accept a tent in my front yard.
100%.
Yeah, it was at that moment that I knew, like, oh my God, you actually need my fucking help. And then, so like, you left, or there was still the tent option on the table.
Yeah.
And then I called and I was like, look, if you're serious about this, I'll buy you a caravan. You can come and live in a caravan, but you've got to like turn up here, and then I'll buy the caravan, because I don't want to end up with a caravan and you just don't end up turning up, because I understand, like, if you are in a domestic violence relationship, and it can be like emotional and physical, that it's a lot to break from, like actually leave and walk away from. So that's why I was like, I don't want to commit unless you're committed. And then you, like, that was Christmas, and then end of January you turned up here with your bags.
Yeah.
So then we bought a caravan.
Yeah. I did live inside for like a little bit.
Yeah, we didn't put her in a tent, don't worry.
It's alright, guys.
Yeah, so I guess tale of triumph. I stood up for myself, break out of a toxic pattern. This is actually really interesting one. So I have a multitude of childhood trauma, as a lot of us do. And I have been using alcohol to numb that trauma since I was 14 or 15 years old. I didn't drink every single day, didn't always drink, you know, there'd be times that I didn't drink at all, but I was drinking completely for the wrong reasons, really to numb a lot of that pain. Anything that got too much, I just drink to numb. So this year I've decided not to drink alcohol, and it's currently like 100 days, I think, roughly around that, maybe 90 days, alcohol free. So it's been really hard. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's so easy. It wasn't. Like
we have a worm farm.
Yeah, we have a worm farm. You know when you see those like videos or memes and it's like a crackhead out the front vacuuming their lawn? That was basically me giving up alcohol.
Yeah, I would say like you don't have alcohol, so we have the garden, the worm farm, the chickens,
Yeah.
the fucking water dragons, fucking waterfall
Yeah.
fountain thingy at the front. Like, there's so much fucking shit.
Yeah. And now because I don't buy alcohol, what have I replaced what have I bought recently that you're like, this is ridiculous?
You know the water boy, how he gets glacier water from the glacier rivers? This bitch bought water. She is that water boy in real life.
Let me get the water for you.
Yeah. It's from the glacier rivers.
So because I can't drink alcohol at the moment, I'm replacing it with Icelandic water, straight from Iceland, goes over volcanic rock. So it has a naturally reoccurring pH level of 8.4. And here's the best part. Naturally reoccurring magnesium 2.4, calcium 6.4. Now, this sounds
water.
It's water. It is water. It says, let me read this to you. Over 5,000 years ago, long before the first humans reached remote Iceland, a massive volcanic eruption created a unique underground spring, complete with its own natural filtration system. Pristine lava rock, now known as the Olfus Spring, this is the origin of Icelandic glacial, the natural spring water, which is the source of an epic life.
So if anyone watches The Water Boy and how he pulls out the water out of the little pocket to show the chick, search it up on TikTok, Water Boy. That's our bitch here.
I'll be real, like, it tastes like water.
It's water! What do you think it's going to taste like, vodka?
So if you're out there and you're like, yes, I can give up water, I can give up alcohol, and I can drink Icelandic glacial water,
fuck me.
You are going to be so disappointed. Okay, moving on. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I'm just being dramatic, in an effort to downplay your feelings or avoid conflict?
Fuck no, I'm never dramatic in those things. I'm a hot-headed person, and if I'm going to go, it's because they've done something or they want to start something, I'm going to go. I'm dramatic when it's not an argument.
But do you find yourself saying, like, if, say, something happens and you're just like, I'm just being dramatic. Maybe you don't say it out loud, but you think it in your head. Like,
no.
I'm just being dramatic about
I don't think that.
You're right. Brooke's like literally straight up, I'll fight you, bitch.
I don't think that.
She goes from like 0 to 1,000 real quick.
I'm not dramatic. I think the things that I do are very logical ways.
They're not logical.
They are logical.
They're dramatic.
I haven't fought anyone for ages.
I could just say I haven't fought anyone. I don't need to add the ages part, but this is like saying, have you caught yourself saying, like, in a situation, I'm being too dramatic about it?
I'm never dramatic.
Like, for me, I am. Like, I definitely, when, like, I'd be like, oh my God, you put the cup in the cupboard the wrong way.
Oh, hell no.
So, like, but that's just me being dramatic about a situation.
No. I don't think. I just tell other people they're dramatic.
You do that.
But I don't think what I do is dramatic. I think I'm just straightforward, tell you how the fuck it is, you don't like it, fuck off. That's my attitude.
It is, but it isn't also. Like, you do get really emotional and hold stuff in to, like, not hurt other people's feelings.
Depending on how, if I really care for that person, I'm gonna hold a bit back. But if you done piss me off, I'm gonna tell you everything and watch you cry.
Yeah, like, I think I'm a lot more, like, straight up without meaning to hurt people's feelings.
I
Like,
do put some consideration into people's like.
yeah, I don't put any consideration. Like, I just tell you, and it's not because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I just say what comes up, and then, like, whereas I feel like you sit with it more, like, you think about it, and, like, yes, if it does make you angry, then you do become, like, super hot headed. You're like, what? Throw hands. That's what you say. I'm gonna throw hands. Okay,
throw hands.
okay. With the KFC drive-through, this bitch can't get my order after 3 times. We're gonna throw hands. I'm like, we'll just walk in and place the order. It's fine.
I've never have I done that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
So that pretty much wraps it up. I've still got to answer my what word am I loving right now, but I just wanted to be like, okay, so let's do a quick recap here. So what are 3 red flags that you would see in a relationship?
3 red flags. Such a good question. Number 1, complimenting you, but returning it with a negative.
Yeah.
Comparing you to certain people or certain situations.
Yeah.
I would say, like, certain things you do, right? They could, like, if you cook food for them, they go, it tastes really good, but all you do is like you know, it's too cheesy. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's like the first one, but I agree. And
I can't really think
if
of
someone is, like, if they're listening right now and they're in a bad relationship or a bad situation, what's your advice for getting out of it?
You have to get out of it.
Like, how did you leave? How did you find the courage to leave?
I feel like I found the courage to leave when I was like, you know, this is not healthy. This is not a normal way to live. Like, I felt so drained, and I didn't feel like myself anymore. I didn't feel like the bright, happily, bubbly Brooke that everyone knows and loves. I felt like this miserable fucking cunt.
But, like, how did you leave? Like,
I left. I packed my shit and left.
Yeah, but what was the driving thing? You just woke up and you were like, I'm done here?
Yeah, I think I was done being
and let's be real, like, how long did that take? So you said it was like 2.5 years, right? To wake up and feel like that?
Yeah, to wake up and feel like that and go numb to any situation, any argument. I was like,
I just don't want people listening to think like it's easy to wake up and be like, oh yeah, I can get out of this.
No, I think it was a lot of the whole, every time we had an argument, I'd just be like, okay, cool. Like, just like.
But it took like 2.5 years essentially to get out of it.
To get out.
And I think that's a really great point, because if you are in a toxic relationship, whether it be romantic or family related, it's not easy. Like, at the end of last year, I made the really hard decision to stop talking to our mum. Which is basically just so I can go and recover from some of my childhood trauma. But that wasn't an easy decision for me. Like, it was really, really, really hard to do that. And it's still hard because I love her and I want to talk to her about certain things, but I just know I'm not ready yet. So that's been really hard as well. So I think, like, and it took me, like, literally months with professionals to get to that point where I could even tell my mum, look, no, I just can't communicate with you right now.
Yeah.
So if you are in a situation, I think the biggest thing is maybe just start making a plan, even if it's just a mental plan that you're noting in your head, if you want to get out of it. Thanks for tuning in to Life from Different Ends. We hope you had as much fun listening as we did creating. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. It really helps us out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media so you can stay up to date with new episodes and join the conversation. Until next time, stay kind, stay loving, stay brutal. Love ya!